I feel the same way, because I mean, what's the other option?
Right.
You know, I'm a country boy from Moncks Corner, South Carolina, raised on a dirt road. So, you know, my mother was a Jehovah's Witness, my grandmother was a Baptist. So I still believe in this higher power called God.
Yeah.
And you know, you can't believe in God when, you know, things go your way, and not believe in God when things don't go your way.
Hey, baby! Yeah! Listen, we got beef. We got beef. Finally, we got a beef worth responding to.
Finally.
All these little peons on the internet talking shit, I don't give them no love, but this guy right here.
And so people are probably thinking to themselves, we probably ain't gonna get another Kendrick record in forever. It's a 6-minute record. He probably gonna let that live. But for him to go back to back, which is a Drake tactic, and give us 616 in LA.
Andrew Schulz said it's a defense mechanism. And he said, you know, because you might get beat.
They grow a beard because there's more cushion when they get slapped out of.
And he also said that some of what they did was in protection because they were always complaining.
Listen, y'all know Charlamagne is a hothead with some very strong opinions, right? But it looks like he might have flown too close to the sun this time with this whole Andrew Schulz versus Kendrick Lamar situation. Now he's catching all kinds of smoke for defending Andrew after he dropped some pretty nasty comments about Kendrick. It seems everyone is done with Charlamagne's BS. He's really pushed it too far this time. And that's not all. Andrew just keeps piling on the drama by doubling down and throwing even more vile comments after Kendrick called him out on his new album. So what's really going on here? It's only getting messier and bigger by the minute. All right, so let's dive into The Breakfast Club, which hands down is one of the top hip-hop radio shows and podcasts out there. Everyone's tuned in for those one-on-one rapper interviews, the inside scoop on the latest gossip, and the freshest news in the game. And who's holding it down behind the mic? None other than DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, and of course, Charlamagne Tha God. And y'all, we know the show can get pretty messy.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne Tha God. We are The Breakfast Club. If you're just joining us, Charlamagne gave Donkey the Day to Drake.
Yes.
Why?
Because he being a...
Now, we all know Charlamagne has built a whole empire off being a major troll, right? He's the self-proclaimed guy in the game. But here's where it gets messy. Despite all his trolling and confidence, a ton of guests on the show have flat out refused to deal with his BS. They're not holding back anymore. He is now catching more smoke for getting in the middle of the Kendrick vs. Andrew mix, and it's getting wilder by the minute. So, where did all this start? Brace yourself, as things are about to get even steamier. So, Andrew Schulz went off about the hypocrisy of rappers calling out comedians for their jokes. He pointed out that while rappers are telling comedians to be more respectful toward women, they need to reflect on their own actions first. According to Andrew, rappers are often seen as the most pious group when it comes to respecting women through art. But let's be real, nobody's disrespecting women more in their lyrics than rappers, right?
Rappers are telling comedians we need to be more respectful to women, so we gotta sit back and reflect.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They're the most pious group.
Listen, nobody has respected women more. Through art.
Yes.
Than rappers. Okay?
Absolutely.
And that's not all. Andrew goes on to say that he totally gets why a rapper might want to call out a comedian for making jokes about their wife being annoying. But Andrew reminded them that they're out here rapping about women, calling them major slurs and other explicit lyrics. He called out how they'll talk about disrespecting women in their music, while asking others to be more respectful. It's a strange double standard for sure.
How dare y'all keep saying your wives are annoying? You know, be more like us and, you know, say nothing but moves and tricks. I beat my with a stick. What? You can lick on the nuts or suck the dick. I beat my with a stick. What?
Now here's the gist. Andrew seems to have taken things even a notch higher. His interview with the guys went from just cringe to straight up weird. He made some pretty stereotypical and borderline racist comments and is not beating the allegations anytime soon. Trust me, it's about to get even messier.
Mathematically speaking,
Potatoes.
yeah, bro, it's both my parents, they've seen
They was
stuff.
potato slaves.
Yeah.
That shit's probably harder to pick than cotton if you think about it.
The drama all started a few episodes ago when the British podcasters from Freshest and Gigs appeared on Flagrant. It was supposed to be just another episode, but Andrew Schulz and his crew of loudmouths kicked things off with a conversation that quickly went left. The discussion turned to something Schulz referred to as the black girlfriend effect. According to him, when a guy starts dating a black woman, he suddenly ends up with a buzz cut and a beard because all the stress from constantly dealing with her complaints about everything makes him lose his hair.
Wait, what is the black girlfriend effect? This is
You don't know about this?
Glow up the other culture.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a black girlfriend, all of a sudden he's got buzz cut, like clean shape up.
Nah,
Glows up, bro.
Yeah, I like that.
Glows up.
Yeah, you heard that right. Schulz went on to suggest that white guys with black girlfriends grow beards more, but when they get slayed by the situation, they'll shave it off to cope with the stress. It was a bizarre moment, and the whole thing felt off from the start.
Because they're so stressed being around this black girl complaining about shit all the time. That's why they gotta shave their hair.
Nah, bro. White guys with black girlfriends,
they grow a beard
because
there's more cushion when they get slapped the out of. That's hilarious.
Andrew didn't stop there. Oh no. He had to ask Fuhad and James if they'd ever dated both black and white women, and then he straight up asked them who their favorite was. Like, no shame at all. When they gave the safe answer, saying they loved all women, Andrew had the audacity to insinuate that their answer clearly meant white women. Like, bro, seriously? This man really thought he was onto something, acting like he cracked some deep code. It was one of those, did he really just say that? Moments that had everyone cringing.
Do you guys, have you ever had black girlfriends?
Yeah.
Have you ever had white girls?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. What's your favorite?
We love them all.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We love them all.
Yeah.
That means white.
Yo, who gets
that means white. Hey, let me get the translation.
Kendrick fans, get him!
Now, here's where it got messy. While Schulz was clearly the one making these questionable comments, Fuhad and James were the ones who ended up apologizing for laughing at what he said. Talk about a weird twist. We've seen this before, though, but watching the Shexties and Gigs guys apologize in real time for laughing at a joke in the moment felt pretty cringeworthy. It's like, bro, we all know what Flagrant is known for, talking reckless and being unapologetically messy.
There's been a couple of clips going around from when we did a session on the Flagrant podcast while we were on our US tour. And there were a few jokes made that were incredibly inappropriate.
Well, it's not looking good for Fuhad and James. People are saying they totally condoned Andrew's racist behavior and comments just by laughing along with him. Like, they should have called him out on his out-of-pocket comments instead of letting it slide. They're getting dragged for not stepping up in the moment, and it's turning into a whole mess for them. These two just can't seem to catch a break.
Fight or flight is a real thing. Like, it is, yeah. Fight or flight is a real thing, and it's so not easy to say, but when you're in those situations, you look at it through a lens of like, bro, if it was me, I promise you I'll stand up, I'll kick them cameras down, I would smack homeboy in the face, I would say this, I'll do that.
So, after all the backlash, Schulz and his crew decided to drop their views on Fuhad and James's apology. And man, didn't they turn it into a whole mockery of the situation. Instead of actually addressing the issue seriously, they made fun of their former guests and showed just how little they care about offending people. Like, they straight up told their listeners, if you're upset with us, you're gonna stay upset, because we're not apologizing for our jokes.
Any listeners here that are upset at us, we just want to let you know that you're going to stay upset. Okay? What we're not going to do is sit here with our tucked between our legs apologizing on the podcast for jokes. Okay? Look at how sad he is over on the left.
Real thing. Like, it is, yeah. Fight or flight is a real thing. And
He is.
so
Do you see how we should go back? We should go back because he's going through it right now. Look how he practiced this. I'm gonna pick my skin on my finger.
Guys.
No. I need you to watch it. Look, he bite his bottom lip.
And that's not all. They didn't even try to soften the blow. Schulz doubled down, saying they weren't about to sit there with their tails between their legs. The whole thing was honestly just a joke to them. At one point, they even joked about the guests defending their community and how they got heat for laughing at the joke. They kept cracking up, making the whole situation more like an excuse to laugh at the mess they created.
Does that happen to you guys when your body is just being torn with the primal urge to either fight or flight, and instead you just go, ha ha ha? Do you guys ever have that feeling?
I feel like you're making an excuse for jokes.
I'm not. I would never.
That sounds like what you're doing.
Hey, I would never excuse.
You already know the black community wasn't having any of this. They were livid over the whole situation, and Kendrick Lamar couldn't just sit back and let it slide, no sir. In his new album, Tha God goes in calling Schulz out for talking trash about black women and dragging the XT and Gigs crew for laughing along and condoning his comments. And that's when the cope started kicking in. People scrambled to defend Schulz, but Kendrick wasn't having any of it. He laid down the law with a hard-hitting line that really set the tone.
Let no white comedian talk about no black woman as law.
Here's where the plot gets thicker. Charlamagne is catching major heat for seemingly taking Andrew Schulz's side in all this. People are absolutely pissed at him, calling him a traitor. And it gets worse. He said this while live on set with Andrew, which only made things worse. Fans were already mad at Schulz, and now here comes Charlamagne, seemingly backing him up. The timing could not have been worse.
I got my first Billboard hit.
You got your first Billboard hit?
I got my first Billboard hit.
Where did Whacked Out Muro's debut? I know Kendrick had a top 7 out of 10. Taylor, why do you look so sad already?
Yo, Taylor's so upset I got a hit.
I'm not sad.
You're saying the first song on the album is my song?
That's not true.
I didn't say it was your
Oh, yeah.
It is
You say he opened the song with Schulz? The first song of the album got Schulz
This
in
the
it?
intro.
This is crazy. I
Yes.
didn't know.
Charlamagne tried to defend himself by saying he couldn't fault anyone in this whole situation. He even said he had no problem with Schulz, claiming that nobody can control what Schulz says. And on top of that, no one can control how Kendrick Lamar reacts to the jokes. So of course, he played the artistic freedom card, basically saying that everyone should just do their thing and let the chips fall where they may. But let's be real, that didn't sit well with anyone.
I want to ask the black women in the room, because I'm not the person to ask about this because I don't get easily offended. Is that offensive?
If I didn't know,
It sounded like you were making jokes about black men.
Well, yeah, I was making fun of those two guys. They were clearly pretending.
How?
And I could see what people say you might have been reinforcing the stereotype of
yes, black women.
black women being angry.
Yes.
But the jokes were the black men.
And this is where all hell broke loose. People did not take Charlamagne's words lightly. He's getting called a racist apologist left and right, and now he's stuck in the mud with this one. His attempt at playing the freedom of speech angle backfired, and now his credibility is taking a major hit. The backlash is real, and it's safe to say Charlamagne has dug himself into a deep hole with this one.
But it's still a joke.
But the joke.
So I'm a freedom of speech person. The
okay.
same way I think Kendrick has the right to say whatever he wants on his records.
Yes.
I think comedians have the right to say whatever they want on stage. Now, you're not free from the consequences of whatever you say, whatever those things are, and you're not free from people being offended by them.
So, Andrew decided to clap back at Kendrick in a big way, calling him a woke hypocrite. He threw some serious shade at Kendrick, saying that Kendrick claims to defend black women, but is out here making money off their struggles. It's a pretty ironic take, considering that Schulz has done his fair share of exploitative stuff in the past too. Remember when he played the victim card and then turned around to profit off the drama? Yeah, it's giving double standards all around.
What a time to be alive where rappers gotta talk about comedians for clout.
God bless, dude.
Like, we are up right now.
God bless.
The biggest story about the album, outside of the album and people enjoying it, was a sub at a comedian? And you don't even gotta say my name and it still makes headlines?
But wait, the nasty comments didn't stop there. Schulz just kept digging, saying things that made everyone stop and go, did he really just say that? He joked that now Kendrick's a certified hater, and then, well, it got weird. Schulz started talking about how if it came down to it, he could make love to Kendrick, even saying that Kendrick wouldn't be able to do anything about it. He really went off, talking about putting Kendrick on his lap, feeding him a bottle, and going on and on about how Kendrick would have no choice but to fall into it because he's so charming.
If it came down to it, I could put him on my lap. I could feed him a bottle. I could put him on my lap. I could feed him a bottle and make love to him if I wanted to, and there's nothing he could do about it. I might not be hard. Might just slap soft against his butt. But just Kendrick, I would make love to him, and there's nothing he could do about it. Just Kendrick Lamar, I would make love to him, and the only thing that he could do is decide if it's or not.
Schulz even suggested that Kendrick would be so charmed by him that after the whole situation, Kendrick would end up writing a song about it. And as if that wasn't bad enough, he continued with more bizarre comments, saying that if they were locked in a cell together with nothing else to do, he might just have to get physical with Kendrick, and there would be nothing Kendrick could do to stop it. Yeah, it's safe to say this went from cringy to straight up disturbing real quick.
I could be romantic with him and there's nothing he could do about it, to the point, like, I think I'm so charming he would just fall into it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I think he would just be so charmed. He would be like, damn, like, whap, 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 whap. Let me suck it up.
This was MLK's dream, right?
Yes!
Over the years, we've seen plenty of interviews where Charlamagne tries to pull his usual stunts, only to get shut down by guests who aren't having it. It's honestly been wild to watch. This one went left real quick. Birdman walked in and called out Charlamagne and the whole crew. He let them know to stop messing around with his name because Charlamagne had allowed Trick Daddy and Rick Ross to talk about Birdman's business in previous interviews. Charlamagne tried to act tough, questioning why Birdman came if he was so upset, but Birdman made it clear that he came to speak his truth directly to Charlamagne.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna start this shit off straight. All three of y'all stop playing with my name. Let's go on in. Let's go. Stop playing with my name.
Here, let's do it on camera.
Stop playing with my name. Let's go right on in.
During a 2013 interview, Kanye dropped some serious knowledge about how the industry treats him and other artists. Charlamagne, of course, tried to throw some shade, questioning why Kanye now talks so much about money instead of sticking to his revolutionary roots. Kanye straight up told Charlamagne that real change requires power, and to get that power, you need money. Charlamagne tried to counter with the Malcolm X didn't need money line, but Kanye quickly shut that down.
You know, in order to really impact and be in a position of power, at this point you got to be a billionaire. It ain't about being like, you know, a superstar. I don't know nobody that like sells a lot of like records and gets a lot of radio spins that's actually a billionaire either.
Nicki was promoting Pink Friday, Roman Reloaded, and everything was supposed to go smoothly. But when she realized the DJs hadn't even queued up her songs properly, she wasn't having it. Nicki wasted no time calling them out, telling them they needed to actually listen to people's music if they were going to be in the game.
It's only queens right there.
You don't even know these songs. You guys do not clearly don't support me. Neither does Clue. But that's neither here nor there. But those are the songs that I would like y'all to play.
Envy, come on, be a real DJ.
I don't understand why I'm coming to radio and y'all don't even have my songs ready to be
Wait, hold on. That's the DJ.
Well, Charlamagne tried to go straight for the jugular, bringing up Tekashi's past legal troubles, including the controversial charges involving a 14-year-old girl. But Tekashi wasn't about to let Charlamagne use his platform to stir up that drama. He shut it down, telling Charlamagne that the media often twists things and he wasn't guilty of what they tried to pin on him.
Are you a registered offender?
Nah, I'm not.
Were you convicted of something?
Nah, I'm not. You could actually look it up. You got a computer right there.
Yeah, I did. That's why I asked. Because I mean, you can't believe nothing you see on the internet. That's why I'm asking you.
Somebody sent a letter up here actually about you.
During an interview, Charlamagne claimed Soulja wasn't really from Atlanta, but was from the internet. Soulja went off, telling Charlamagne to stop speaking on his name, clearly frustrated that Charlamagne was trying to discredit his entire career. But even though Soulja was heated, he made it clear there was no real beef. He just wasn't going to let Charlamagne play with him.
Stop on me, Charlamagne Tha God, Breakfast Club. Did you talk about I'm not from Atlanta? Where the f you think I shot Crank that at? Where the f you think I went to school at? Where the f you think I grew up at? Where the f you think I was jumping the monorail at?
During a 2009 interview, Charlamagne started by complimenting Lil Mama's confidence, but then turned around and called her cocky for someone who hadn't achieved much in the industry. Really, Charlamagne? She clapped back, reminding him that her struggles and accomplishments were just as valid as anyone else's. As Charlamagne kept pushing, questioning why she wasn't putting out more music, Lil Mama broke it down. Her mother had passed away from cancer, and she had to navigate that grief while juggling the pressures of the music industry.
When I was 17 years old, I put out an album while my mother was dying of cancer. That right there alone is a struggle. That's hard. That's tough for anybody.
Beanie and Charlamagne have some history, and when Beanie came on the show, he didn't hold back. He quickly reminded Charlamagne of the time he made Lil Mama cry, throwing heavy shots at Charlamagne for his petty interview style. Beanie didn't mince words, making sure Charlamagne knew exactly how he felt.
I think you're a sucker, so I should be out, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, that's me personally. I wouldn't sit there and have a conversation with a sucker.
Yeah, you'll sit here and you'll bash a little girl, Lil Mama, till she cry. That's what you do. Coward.
Dame came on the show with a powerful message about ownership and investing, but Charlamagne and DJ Envy weren't exactly feeling it. They clashed over the whole working under someone versus being your own boss debate, and Charlamagne couldn't resist throwing some shade at Dame's style. Things got intense when Dame started hitting Charlamagne with some major truth bombs, questioning his life choices and throwing shade at his position.
No, listen, what I'm saying.
But what about taking the money?
You come to work every
took the money
day.
from Def Jam.
I didn't take. Wait, stop! Don't say. See, you're speaking my business and you don't know what you're talking about. I ain't take no money from Def Jam. What you talking about?
I mean, they cut you a check.
No, they didn't cut me a check. We had a formula based on performance, and they calculated and we got paid.
It's clear that Charlamagne seems to find himself in some sort of beef with just about every artist he interacts with. Defending Schulz and backing up those comments has dragged Charlamagne through the mud, and he's definitely being painted as a bad guy by a lot of people. So what's your take? Does Charlamagne deserve all the heat he's getting for his statements? Was Schulz's joke actually inappropriate, or Kendrick just can't take a joke? Leave your comments down below and stay tuned for our next video where we'll drop more juice on the latest hip-hop drama.